Hiya, welcome to Craftwork. I'm Ruthie and today I've got a pattern review for you, but this time it is a free pattern. If you're quite active on Instagram in the sewing community, then you will probably have seen this pattern around a bit because lots of people have made it. It's by a pattern company called In the Folds and it's the Peppermint Jumpsuit. So it's a free pattern by Peppermint Magazine, so I guess Peppermint commissioned In the Folds. I'm presuming that's how it worked. It's a very basic, simple jumpsuit, and if you've never made a jumpsuit before, this is the pattern. So it's a very simple shape. I'm wearing it now and you can see even the neckline and everything. It's very simple and clean. And then you have the option to add a tie belt, a tie waist belt, or obviously you could wear a normal belt or something else. But yeah, it's like a sash belt. I knew I would probably want to add that because I like to define my waist a little bit. Whilst I like looser, boxier silhouettes, quite often they might not look quite right on me. So I've seen loads of great versions of this. I love a jumpsuit, though I don't have very many in my wardrobe, so I knew I wanted to rectify that a bit. I just find them so easy to throw on and style. It comes in quite a lot of different sizes as well, from A to K, and I think it would be a relatively easy thing to grade up or grade down if you need to. Smallest size is like waist 24 inch and the biggest one is waist 45.5 inches. But yeah, as I say, I think it would be relatively easy to alter. In terms of fabric, it suggests sort of light to medium weight with a little bit of drape, but I don't think you necessarily need that. I definitely think you could make it in like a quilting cotton or something like that, because of the fact that you can add the tie waist or you can cinch the waist in somehow. I think there's actually quite a lot of scope for a lot of different fabrics, but equally it would look really lovely in something super drapey like rayon or viscose. But the first thing it suggests is linen, and that's what I think of when I look at it as well. And I absolutely love linen. I don't have enough linen in my wardrobe, and it's definitely something that I want to use a lot this year for pretty much everything that I make for the summer now. The fabric that I got is a black linen viscose blend, I think it was, but that blend just means it's a little bit more drapey and it doesn't crease as easily, though that's not something that I worry about too much, to be honest. I think that you have to embrace the creases with linen a bit, but this is a really great one if you do care about creases. So it's from Rolls and Rems in Lewisham, and I think it was about £6.50, maybe £7 a metre. Also with linen, it is so easy to work with. It's so nice. It does tend to fray quite easily, so you do want to overlock or bind the edges where possible. If you don't have access to an overlocker, then this is the sort of fabric where you are going to want to bind the edges using bias binding. I will link to a tutorial on that down below. So the pattern is really simple. It's well drafted, it's easy to understand and follow, and the illustrations are quite clear. It does have a few slightly trickier techniques though. So the first one is a concealed zip or invisible zip at the back. My main tip with that is to iron on a low setting and get yourself a invisible zipper foot or concealed zip foot, which again I will link to an option of down below just so you can see what it looks like. I used a blue one because that's all I had, but also I'm quite confident in my ability to put in a concealed zip, so I knew it would be pretty concealed, so you can't really see the blue, so I think that's okay. The other slightly tricky technique is, in order to get a clean finish on both sides of the shoulder straps, she uses what's known as the burrito method. I did struggle to understand it from her point of view. She was saying to have it like wrong sides out, and that's not how I would do it. So what I did was I made sure that how I wanted to do it was going to work, and then I filmed me doing the other side, so I'll like input that here. So what it is once you've sewn the facing to the neckline, You then want to sew it to the armholes. So the burrito method, what you need to do is carefully roll up one side with it laying flat, and I did it with right sides facing up. So I rolled over one side of the long side of the jumpsuit, so you're rolling it over from the long side. The aim is to get all of that fabric encased within the shoulder seam. So hopefully you'll be able to see from the images, because it's really hard to explain, and that's why I'm sure the instructions are relatively simple to understand, but it's the sort of thing that you need to read over and over again, and that's why I filmed myself to try and help. If you do get stuck, you can return to this video and have a look and see if that helps anymore. I think there are some other tutorials online for the burrito method, but yeah, if you've ever made a shirt before, it's quite similar to doing the burrito method with everything going within the yoke. This one is everything's going like within the shoulder seam, if that makes sense. So what ends up is you encase it, you then have to make sure you're not catching any of that fabric that you've rolled into the shoulder, and then you can pull it through, and what you've got is a nice clean finish. So hopefully that makes it a little bit clearer, because as I say, even I got a little bit stuck, and I have done it before. But yeah, so I did it my way, and that worked really well. And I think what she says is basically the same, except she starts with it wrong sides up. But yeah, generally the instructions are really simple to follow. Just make sure you do follow and go nice and slow. And I'm pretty sure most people, if you've made a garment before, no matter what it is, I'm sure you could tackle this, because it is super simple, but it's got a couple of great techniques that are like really fun to do and great to learn. I didn't make any changes to the style of the pattern because I really like the style. I may go back and taper in the legs just a little bit more, but I don't know. At the moment, I'm quite enjoying having a little bit more room in my ankles. Generally, I will either have something super wide-legged or really close to the ankle. But in terms of fit, I probably will make some changes. Now, I should have made a toile because, as I say, this fabric is a little bit more expensive than I'm used to, but it is quite fabric hungry, this pattern, because obviously it's lots of big pieces. I managed to squeeze it out of 2 meters. As usual, I could do with a longer bum curve. I don't know what the technical term for that is. Answers down below if you know. But I could do with a longer curve on the back pieces and a shorter curve on the front, because that's just the way my body is. I think it's called a sway back. Again, let me know if you know what it is. It's basically, I've got a big bum and I kind of stand with it sticking out, which means that I kind of have a shorter front crotch and longer back crotch curve. So usually I will do that to trousers, but I wasn't sure that I would need to, partly because it's so loose fitting. But next time I make it, I will definitely extend the back crotch curve. Maybe that's what it is. The back crotch curve, and shorten the front crotch curve, so that I've still got the same amount. It's just that where the sort of middle point lies, it just means at the moment it's all kind of pulling backwards. Not a huge amount though, it's still super comfortable. It's just a little tiny tweak that I would do for the next one. I probably only need to change it by an inch. But yeah, because it is quite loose around there as well, I'm getting away with it just about. But to get the perfect fit, that's what I would do. The other thing I did was I added pockets, because it doesn't have pockets on, but it's super easy to add pockets on the side seams. Again, I will link down below on someone else's video on how to add pockets to the side seams of pretty much anything. So what I did was I pretty much made it up and basted it together, and then I tried it on and decided where I wanted the pockets. I actually made the pocket bags a little bit too small, so next time I would make them bigger, but they're okay, I can still put my hands in them, so that's perfect, and I can definitely fit my phone in there, and that's like my main thing. And then I also shortened the bust darts after I'd made it all up. So I'd done it with the bust darts where they normally are, and then realised that either they're a little bit too high on me, or they need a little bit of shortening. So I tried shortening them, and I think that works a lot better. I think next time I will try and move them down a little bit, maybe, just because of where my apex is, and also because I generally want to wear this without a bra. It looks better with a bra, but like summer. And it was quite easy for me to kind of just shorten the where the point of the bust dart sort of ends, and then that looks a lot better than it did when it was a longer bust dart. Another thing I might consider doing is deepening the V on the neckline. I think this is great for like everyone, but for me, I think it would just be a little bit more flattering. I think, you know, I could go quite deep on that without feeling too I don't know, exposed, because I quite like that style, and I can imagine wearing something like this like on holiday with a bikini, or I can wear it in the winter with long sleeves underneath it, or a t-shirt underneath it. I think that would look really cool, but I think at the moment the V's a little bit too high for that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I would totally recommend this pattern. If you've been looking at it and thinking about it, do it. It's May Bank Holiday weekend at the moment, and by some miracle we've got really, really nice weather. It looks like it's going to stay that way for at least for the bank holiday. So I feel like this is like perfect. I'm so glad I've made it now. I think I'm going to be wearing it non-stop. I honestly don't want to wear anything else, and I have so many ideas of ways to style it as well. I definitely want to make it in a few more colours. I would love it in a kind of red colour or a rust colour. I've seen some gorgeous like green colours. All of this I'm thinking linen, but I think it would look really nice, as I say, in like viscose or something a bit more floaty and drapey. I think it would also work really well in like a light denim or a chambray. So yeah, I want to make loads, but I'm not going to make too many, but I'm definitely at least going to make one more before the summer's out, because I really want to see if those fit changes make a big difference, but also, as I say, I would like it in something other than black. I want to apologise as well. Pretty much everything that I've been doing a pattern review for recently has been black. I've made it in a black fabric of some kind. I like wearing black, obviously, but also my wardrobe was kind of missing a lot of basic things, and that's what I'm working towards at the moment. But we're in the summer now. I feel like this is probably the last black thing I'm gonna make for a while, and yeah, I'm looking forward to making some things out of some like plain but gorgeous colours. So don't worry, I think this is the last black thing, but I mean, don't hold me to that. I really like black. So yeah, even if you're a beginner, I highly recommend this pattern. Just give it a go slowly. The instructions are great, and as I say, if you get stuck with the burrito method, you can check back here and see. Hopefully this video will help as well, along with the instructions. I think you'll be able to work it out. That's it from me today. If you're in the UK, I hope you have a fabulous bank holiday weekend, and if you're not, I hope you have a great time anyway. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I also have a newsletter which I put out, which doesn't just include promotion of my new video, though that is usually involved. It also has other tips, things I'm listening to, and just basically things that I'm liking at the moment. So if you're interested in that, then you can sign up to my newsletter, and or you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you again next Sunday, and have a great week. Bye.